The second season starts with Vash, Meryl, and Millie becoming involved in a conflict in Promontory over a valuable plot of property. The elderly business owners are attempting to prevent Morgan, a vicious tycoon, from evicting them. Patricia Nebraska and the rest of the Nebraska family are among the group of thugs who Morgan has hired to seize the property, along with the couple's son Badwick. With a little covert assistance from Vash, Meryl and Millie stop the criminals. Badwick realizes how determined his parents are to maintain their way of life and goes into town to file the paperwork that would officially establish their ownership of the land. He is shocked to learn that his parents intend to leave him the farm. Legato, infuriated by a group of criminals known as the Roderick Thieves in the town of Genora Rock, orders them to brutally murder one another. When Vash arrives, the corpses of the group shock him. Instead of confronting Dominique the Cyclops, a gunfighter from Legato's Gung Ho Guns organization, he encounters Legato while pursuing him. She appears to be able to change locations in a moment, but as the two battle, Vash learns how to negate her abilities and prevails. However, Meryl and Millie interrupt them, and Dominique flees amid the commotion. Vash quietly swears to find Legato no matter what it takes, while admonishing the girls not to follow him any farther. Following the Genora Rock event, Meryl and Millie choose to accompany Vash 2 weeks later. A hypnotic man tells Vash that the Legato is waiting for him in Augusta 40 miles away before he commits suicide. When Vash gets to Augusta, he uses his reputation to stir a panic and get everyone out of town so he can go up against Legato alone. Legato dispatches 2 Gung Ho guns in pursuit of Vash, the first being the spike-throwing E.G. Mine, who is swiftly dispatched by the second, the Samurai Raide the Blade. Vash's right arm changes into an organic cannon, or Angel Arm, whose blast decimates Augusta and creates a crater in one of the planet's moons as Raide catches him and prepares to kill him. Wolfwood, who had been trailing Vash, discovered the injured Raide among the debris and killed him. Meryl and Millie, who saw Vash being destroyed from a distance, are told to go back to headquarters since Bernardelli has cut ties with Vash since describing the incident as mankind's first human act of God. Vash and his brother Knives are kidnapped aboard a starship by the small crew that is a part of a massive fleet housing humans in suspended animation during the events of this episode, which are set during their childhood. As part of Project Seeds, a mission to colonize other worlds when humanity has used up its resources on Earth, they left the planet. Vash develops a bond with the upbeat crewmember Rem Save Rem, but Knives grows progressively disenchanted with humans as a result of being physically assaulted by a crew member who has misgivings about the alien lads. Knives tricks 3 members of the crew into killing each other, then murders the captain and modifies the navigation system of the spacecraft so that it crashes into the planet. Rem begs Vash to take care of Knives, as she gives her life in order to reprogram the ships and save as many colonists as she can. Vash makes a promise to care for Knives 107 years later as he makes his way to July as an adult. In a nightmare, Vash remembers how Knives appeared to be Vash's angel arm and prompted him to fire it, obliterating July City. Upon his arrival, Wolfwood finds cast under siege by a bandit gang that the locals mistakenly identify as Vash. Eric's, a guy, steps in to protect Lena, a young girl, from the leader's fury, but he is shot and taken to the hospital. Wolfwood recognizes Eric's as Vash, who took the name Eric's after Augusta was destroyed and has since established a tranquil life with Lena and her grandma Cheryl. Vash is informed that Knives is responsible for the town of Carcass's whole people going missing. Vash unwillingly picks up his gun and assumes his old identity and tags along with Wolfwood to rescue Lena when she is abducted by the gang. After that, Vash grudgingly leaves Cass to look into Knives' potential connection to the events in Carcasses. Meryl and Millie are tasked with stopping any destruction when Vash is seen near Little Jersey, but they arrive too late and see the town in ruins. The city of New Oregon, the scene of a protracted conflict between the Polo and Friss families, welcomes Vash and Wolfwood. The sand boat taking Meryl and Millie to New Oregon is taken over by a Friss group, who then crash it into the settlement. Vash boards the ship and uses the PA system to announce that the Friss family is holding the passengers prisoner and that Benson Friss is prepared to kill Slater Polo in retaliation for the death of his daughter. The Friss family is holding the passengers hostage. Vash is brutally beaten by Benson, but in the end, Benson caves into Vash's pleadings for him to spare Slater, and the standoff is resolved without any casualties. The leader of the Friss turns out to be a puppet controlled by Leonoff the Puppet Master, one of the Gung Ho Guns, who informs Legato that Vash is once more on the move. Jacqueline, a typhoon, makes landfall in New Oregon, forcing everyone to stay inside. Vash recalls his rage towards Knives, who sabotaged the expedition in an effort to kill the colonists, in the moments following the Project Seed's fleet's crash landing on the planet. Vash and Wolfwood accompany him as they ride the Typhoon's winds up to an old Seed spacecraft that has been waiting in orbit ever before the fleet arrived. Vash hasn't been here in 5 years. Except for the Doctor and the young woman Jessica, who has had a crush on Vash since she was a child, the other crew members of the ship treat the visitors with suspicion. Legato orders Leonov to dispatch his puppets to kill as many villagers as they can, and they kidnap Jessica as a result. The puppets are destroyed after Vash and Wolfwood release the woman, but Leonov declares that 3 demons have been dispatched to kill him. Once inside the Seed ship, 2 more gung-ho guns start murdering the people there: Hopper the Gauntlet, a hunchback with a machine gun and indestructible shield, and Gray the Nine Lives, a massively armed and armored android. In order to stop gung-ho guns from killing the ship's plants, Vash and Wolfwood must battle through hordes of Leonov's puppets. The ship breaks apart and crashes onto the planet when their attempts are unsuccessful and the plant is destroyed. Wolfwood understands that the Jessica he and Vash managed to save was a puppet after finding the real Jessica locked up in a cupboard. It pulls a gun and shoots Brad, a local who had become Vash's friend, fatally. Meryl, Millie, and Wolfwood show up as Leonov is found and killed by Wolfwood in the desert. Vash continues his journey with Wolfwood, Meryl, and Millie after realizing he must confront Knives in the wake of the numerous deaths aboard the Seed ship. When they arrive at the city of Kiba, which was constructed over the remains of a Seed ship, the guards forbid outsiders from entering. The group pursues a little child to a neighboring town's orphanage, which is home to kids from nearby villages who the adults have mysteriously abandoned. Following the gung-ho guns' overnight visit, a mob from Kiba attacks the following morning, accusing the gang of unlocking the main gates and the death of a guard. A swarm of enormous sandworms attacks and starts to wreck the city, interrupting them. Wolfwood and Vash have reason to believe that the worms are being managed, and Vash realizes that an orphan child by the name of Bet is to blame. The kid reveals himself to be Zazie the Beast, one of the gung-ho guns, after Vash destroys his control device. He threatens the group with a gun until Wolfwood kills him with a shot. Wolfwood says that although everyone is shocked by what he did, it was important for their survival. While contemplating his tragic upbringing in the town of Tonem, Wolfwood is stopped by Chapel the Evergreen of the gung-ho guns, his tutor. He is told by Chapel that Knives' directive to keep Vash alive has been revoked, and he must now kill Vash. By completing this, he will succeed Chapel in the gung-ho guns and take over protecting the kids in his orphanage in the town of December. Wolfwood and Vash pick up their old fight about using lethal force, when Kane the Longshot, another gung-ho gun, starts firing a massive sniper rifle at them from the desert. Vash is sent after Kane by Wolfwood because he wants to fight Chapel. After Vash breaks his rifle, Kane kills himself. Despite Wolfwood defeating Chapel, Kane's body is taken over by Legato, who then shoots Wolfwood. Wolfwood, who has been fatally wounded, informs Vash that Knives is in Dimitri before stumbling into a chapel and professing his sins before passing away, shocking Meryl and Millie in particular. In retaliation for employing Legato to kill Wolfwood, Chapel attempts to kill Legato, but Legato immobilizes him and abandons him to be shredded by Knives. After telling Meryl that Knives is his brother and admonishing her and Millie not to follow him for their own safety, Vash leaves Tonem in quest of Knives. The last gung-ho gun, Midvalley the Horn Freak, who can unleash destructive shockwaves from his saxophone, must be defeated before he can reach Legato and LR. Midvalley commits suicide after Vash uses ricochets to destroy the horn and render it unusable. Legato tries to activate Vash's angel arm as he approaches him, but Vash manages to stop it and decides not to kill Legato. Meryl and Millie, on the other hand, have pursued Vash to LR, where they are apprehended by a mob of locals under Legato's command. Vash is coerced by Legato to kill him in an effort to protect Meryl and Millie. Vash is taken by Meryl and Millie to a small town far from LR so that he can heal from wounds received during his fights with Legato and Midvalley. After 10 days, he regains consciousness, but Legato's passing continues to haunt him. The sisters seek jobs in the city in the interim and look after him in their free time. When a passing truck driver recognizes Vash, the locals become enraged and ready to kill him unless he leaves town due to the threat he represents. With words that greatly resemble Rem's, Meryl convinces them to spare Vash. and he experiences a new feeling of peace. After telling him to carry Wolfwood's mobile cross-shaped arsenal in his honor, Millie sends Vash on a mission to find knives. Amid Dimitri's refuge in the desert, Vash discovers knives. He thinks back on the 130 years since Knives, who was committed to exterminate all humanity on the world, brought down the Project Seed's fleet. He even went so far as to design 2 revolvers that could be used to activate the angel arms of the brothers. Vash shot Knives after learning about his plans and ran away with both weapons. Vash, who was taken in by the people who lived on the ship that had remained at sea, discovered a Ram ancestor in July and went to visit him, only to discover that he had been murdered by Knives. Knives then blasted off Vash's left arm, prompting Vash to strike back with an angel arm blast that killed July and hurt him so severely that he needed to be connected to a healing plant. Knives then enlisted Legato and the gung-ho guns to inflict as much misery and pain on Vash as they could. Vash and Knives fight for a long time at the Oasis using both their angel arms and firearms. Knives obtains the upper hand and positions Vash for death, but Vash uses Wolfwood's cross to shoot Knives, wounding him instead of killing him. Vash decides to respect Rem's memory and trust his own judgment while putting his red coat, rifle, and Stampede persona to rest. Knives is bandaged, and he returns him to Meryl and Millie, who are ecstatic to see him.